مهار بشه و همونطور که دارن سعی میکنن آتیشو مهار کنن. اگه آقا مجازی بگیری.
And breaking news just coming in, Iran's armed forces have vowed a strong response to the recent Israeli airstrikes that targeted multiple areas across the country, including nuclear facilities. Well, Adolfo al-Sharkaji, spokesman for the General Staff of the Armed Forces, stated that the armed forces will certainly respond to this attack and warned that Israel will pay a heavy price. Now, furthermore, he has emphasized that both Israel and the US will face severe consequences for the attack. Once again, reiterating for our viewers, this is the latest we're getting. Iran's armed forces have vowed a strong response to the recent Israeli airstrikes that have targeted multiple areas across the country, including nuclear facilities in Iran. Now, speaking on the matter, Abulfazi Shekharji, who's a spokesman for the General Staff of the Armed Forces, has stated that the armed forces will certainly respond to the attack and warned that Israel will pay a heavy price. Furthermore, he has emphasized that both Israel and the United States will face severe consequences for the attack. Well, this is, of course, coming on the heels of a fresh wave of explosions that were heard in the Iran's capital amid a deadly Israeli attack on the country. And Israel has carried out strikes against Iran, targeting its nuclear and military sites after US President Donald Trump warned of a possible massive conflict in West Asia. And responding to it, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that Israel's operation has struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program, taking aim at the atomic facility in Natanz and nuclear facilities. Well, Iran's armed forces have vowed a strong response, as we've just discussed, and this is to the recent Israeli airstrikes that have targeted multiple areas across the country, including the nuclear facilities. And we've also heard from the spokesman for the General Staff of the Armed Forces, who has stated that the armed forces will certainly respond to the attack and has warned that Israel will pay a heavy price. And that's not all. He's also added that both Israel and the US will face severe consequences for the attack. And Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is alive and has been briefed on the situation following the Israeli strike. This is the latest we're getting, and this is according to a security source cited by Reuters. Now, this update comes amid heightened tensions between Iran and Israel, particularly after recent Israeli airstrikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites. And we're getting more information. Now we know that Iran's airspace has been closed under further notice, and according to Iranian state TV, this decision comes amid escalating tensions between Iran and Israel, particularly after recent Israeli airstrikes on Iranian military and nuclear sites. The closure is likely a precautionary measure to ensure aviation security and prevent potential disruptions. We also know that to brace for a potential retaliatory action from Iran, Israel has also closed down the schools on Friday. Well, this is the latest we're getting, that Iran's airspace has been closed until further notice, and according to Iranian state media, this decision has been taken amid escalating tensions between Iran and Israel, and this is especially now because of the heightened tension in West Asia after recent Israeli airstrikes on Iranian military and key nuclear sites. Well, the closure is likely a precautionary measure to ensure aviation security and prevent potential disruptions and escalation of this conflict in West Asia.